All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Houston Rockets Daily, guys. Today, I want to talk about a possible trade. Now, Clutch Points dropped an article tonight about a couple of different trades revolving Eric Gordon, who most likely is going to get traded at some point in this season. Shout out to Jorge for sending me this article. I want to dive into this. It's Cam Reddish and a couple of picks for Eric Gordon. Now, when I'm looking at these trades, I'm thinking about the future. Obviously, it's all the future. Eric Gordon, as much as I like him on the Houston Rockets, as much as I love Eric Gordon as a player, as a person, especially as probably most importantly, as a competitor, at 33 years old, it doesn't make that much sense to keep him on this team. And you're starting to see this emergence of a player named Josh Christopher. And I think just what is so perfect is if we continue to have Eric Gordon come off of the bench for the Rockets, you have Josh Christopher, maybe you throw him in the G League, maybe you play him 15 minutes a night. Either way, you got to put Josh Christopher in a position to play basketball every single night or every single time it's available for him. The opportunity is there. Because eventually Eric's going to get traded. Whether it's next month, whether it's the month after that, whether it's the night before the trade deadline, whether it's the minute before the trade deadline ends, most likely Eric Gordon will get traded. So this trade hypothetical that Clutch Points kind of provided for us is essentially it's a first-round draft pick and Cam Reddish for Eric Gordon. Now, from the Atlanta Hawks standpoint, they're suffering. Maybe they're not suffering, but they're struggling, right? They made the Eastern Conference Finals last season. They're just not the same right now. They don't look the same. The chemistry isn't there. The shots aren't going in. There's not defense being played. It's kind of a mess. And they'll figure it all out. They'll figure the defense out. They'll start making their shots. They're just going through a little bit of a cold streak. But a player like Eric Gordon, who is putting up 15 points per game along with 45% from downtown, that does wonders for a team like the Atlanta Hawks, the Hawks are essentially forced to try and win games right now because they made the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, this team was, they weren't necessarily rebuilding, but they were not like a finals contender. I mean, a few people picked them as finals contenders. Hawks fans probably aren't that surprised by their success last season. But, from your casual NBA standpoint, not many people had the Hawks making the Eastern Conference Finals last season. We all know the future is bright in Atlanta, especially you have Trae Young. But I don't think people were expecting it to happen that quickly. So Cam Reddish is a player that was a little bit more of a project. Over in Duke, he was just Mr. Inconsistent. He'd have some nights where he's giving you 20 points, but he'll also have a bunch of nights where he's giving you 6 points. So Cam Reddish came into the league as a low-risk, high-reward type, or high-risk, high-reward type of player. I guess you could even put it as low-risk, high-reward because it's not like he was drafted number 2 overall or drafted number 3 overall. But Cam Reddish, the expectations with him were, we're not expecting much, but at the same time, he has that potential to be a star type of player. And in Atlanta, he just hasn't really gotten his opportunity yet. He's in his 3rd year of his NBA career right now. In his rookie year, he had a very impressive performance, 10.5 points per game. He shot, 33% from downtown. He only keep in mind, he's only playing 26 minutes a night. So for a rookie year, you could do worse. You definitely could do better, but you could certainly do worse. Now, last season was cut short due to injury. And it really sucks because it looked like, especially shooting-wise, you have something there. You just had, Cam Reddish is a hell of a basketball player, and despite his inconsistencies, you can just tell with the eye test that you've got something at least. You have something, at the very least, you got something fun, you got something exciting, you got something very promising with a lot of potential to at least be a valuable NBA role player in the league. Last season, like I said, cut short to injury, only played 26 games, but he did see a career-high 29 minutes, 11.2 points, 4 rebounds, almost a steal and a half per game, but the shooting still very much lacking, 36% from the field, and then a mere 26% from downtown, so just a horrible shooting season. So the hope, I think, for Hawks fans heading into this year was, all right, it's his third season, he's healthy, wasn't healthy last year. The hope is he put in a ton of work in the offseason, he put in some work when he was injured, and we're going to be looking more towards a star now. It's been the complete opposite. The shooting's improved, but we're not seeing a leap at all. He's averaging 0.1 more points per game this season. He is playing significantly less, which we'll talk about in a second. 22.6 minutes per game, but he is shooting 41% from the field and 38% from downtown. So that's the reason I want him on the Houston Rockets. Is we have a 22-year-old player still on his rookie contract. The Rockets don't have a firm small forward. So the reason I really like this is because he's getting like 22 minutes in Atlanta right now. This isn't a player that you're trading for and just assuming he's your franchise small forward. This is a player that, like I said, it's low risk, high reward. You don't lose much by trading away Eric Gordon and getting a first-round draft pick and Cam Reddish in return. Like, really, what are you losing in that? Games. But that should be fairly obvious, right? We have Eric Gordon, former six-man of the year, shooting 45% from downtown, putting up 15 a game off the bench. Like, you're gonna get worse. You're gonna get worse. But that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point, is you're trying to get the veterans off of the basketball team so that it opens up the door for all these young guns who can get more minutes. But as I was alluding to, I'm not convinced on Jae'Sean Tate being our starting franchise small forward. I'm not convinced on KJ Martin being our starting small forward franchise guy. Dave Nwaba, that's not even in the equation. So the reason I like this trade so much is, Cam Reddish has really struggled in his NBA career. He's showing enough this season, specifically with the 41% field goal and then 38% from downtown, where it's like, why not make this trade? Yeah, you get a little bit worse. Cam Reddish can play some defense as well, but let's just see what can happen, right? Let's just see what can happen, because it's not like doing this trade screws over Jae'Sean Tate. You could run a starting lineup. This is the starting lineup I would want. I would want KPJ, Jalen Green, Cam Reddish, Jae'Sean Tate, and Christian Wood. That's my starting five. Coming off the bench, you've got some real nice players. Josh Christopher, KJ Martin Jr., Alperen Sengun. You got good players coming off of that bench there. Almani Brooks. The list goes on and on. So I really like this trade. I would love to hear from you guys down below if you would accept it. Once again, it's a first-round draft pick and Cam Reddish for Eric Gordon. I really think this is perfect. I think if Rafael Stone were handed this trade, the Hawks call us up and they're like, you want to do this trade? He might have some issues just because of the future of KJ and Jae'Sean, but I think you'd have to accept this trade 100%. The thing is, we need Eric Gordon to, first off, stay healthy, but stay consistent, because the more as time goes on, Cam Reddish's value is kind of decreasing just because of the fact they're playing in 22 minutes a night. He doesn't really have much of an opportunity to showcase his game, showcase his talent. So we need Eric Gordon to stay healthy. We need him to stay consistent, and we want Atlanta to get desperate enough where they're attaching that first-round draft pick along with Eric Gordon. Now, I don't think that a Cam Reddish and Eric Gordon trade straight up would get the job done. I would imagine we're probably going to throw in Daniel House Jr. and the Hawks are going to throw in a little salary filler, probably on a year expiring contract. But that's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit that sub button. I'll see you guys later. Most importantly, would you accept that trade?